To begin, many years ago when I was working in a military facility, I was working with SEALs in particular, and I was very passionate about what I did. I was trying to figure out ways, a workout program that I would create for them that would give them every tool that they needed so that when they stepped into the environment of combat, they would have everything they needed so that they could be successful at that deployment. And there was a gentleman there working out in our athletic training room, which is a place where people go to rehab from injury. And he was in there working on getting his rehab. And he saw me walking through the gym and he yelled at me. He said, "Hey, Mike, come here a second." And I said, "What's up, man?" And he says, "Hey, I heard a rumor that you are working on a specific program for us, some new theory and some new ideas." I said, "I sure am." He said, "Okay, well, do you mind taking a second and kind of explain this to me?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'll do that. I love doing that. I'm very excited about what I'm trying to do here. So, and that the fact that you're excited makes me even more excited." So I sat down with him and we started talking about what this would look like and the programming behind it and so forth, and the reasons behind why I did what I did. As I was explaining it to him, I kept watching him, and he just kept looking as if he was a racehorse sitting in the chute, getting ready to race, and he just could not wait to take off and get in that race. And then he says to me, he says, "Man, I just cannot wait to get back to shooting and training, get my endurance back, my speed and my power, my explosion, just getting all of it back." He goes, "Man, I cannot wait to get that back." And then he stopped. And this is where it got a little strange, to be honest with you. He stopped and he says to me, he says, "Man, I just, have you ever seen the movie 300? And I said, "Yeah, I've seen the movie 300. I love that show." And he said, "Man, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to look like. I want to be like those guys. I don't know. I guess I just want to look like a warrior." Okay, so as you can imagine, here is a guy who is preparing to go to combat. He is one of the world's most highly qualified experts at being a warrior. And he's telling me that he wants to look like an actor in a movie so that he can have so he can be a warrior, right? Very strange. And I said to him, "Hey man, if you want to know what a true warrior looks like, why don't you get up, walk to the mirror, take a good long hard look in the mirror, and you're going to get a good idea of what an actual warrior looks like." Now, what's interesting is this is a gentleman that's very good at what he does, and he is literally one of the best warriors our country has. And he's saying out loud, like, "I want to look like an actor from a movie." Now, if we're honest, most of us have a tendency to kind of downplay who we are. We forget who we are, and in that process, we're looking for answers to find out, trying to find out a way to figure out who I truly am, right? So this gets back to this idea of being authentic. Being authentic means being true to oneself, living in accordance with one's own values, belief, and personality, rather than trying to be someone else or conforming to external pressures. It involves being genuine in thoughts, feelings, and actions, and not hiding one's true self from others. Don't hide your true self from others. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, we have to understand that we are created, that we came from the divine mind of Jesus, and that he is the only one that truly understands who we are and how we should be. So in other words, the more that I actually learn about him and find out what it is that he is like, I actually then find out a way that I become more myself. But I can still be the authentic, the original of me, but I find out what truly it looks like to being me when I am growing closer to him. Will make more sense as we go through this. So